So a couple of weeks ago, I was at the Curious Courses Day in Zurich, and one of the topics was serendipity. It's one of the key topics we talked about in one of the workshops, and it's this idea of a lucky coincidence. And it just reminded me of something because a couple of months ago, I met this guy, Marcel, and essentially he just reached out to me through LinkedIn and he just said, "Hey, can we grab a coffee?" And sometimes I ask people, why do you want to grab a coffee or something like that. But at that point, I was just like looking at his profile and it just felt good, it just felt right. So I was like, yeah, sure. If you come over here, got a 10-minute walk to the next coffee place. So let's grab a coffee. So we did that, and then we had lunch together. We had another conversation together, and basically now we're in a business partnership together. We're building a venture here in Switzerland with together with the Global Entrepreneurship Network, and it was just so we're building this corporate exit program for ex bankers and ex senior executives, and it's just something that has materialized because of that pretty much random connection. So it was, I believe it was serendipity in that case that just, happened. And I didn't try to strategize or rationalize why should I meet him? Does it make any business sense or whatever? I want to be really clear on that first. But I just said, sure, let's go for coffee. And from there, a lot of the right things started to happen. Now we're building the board of directors here in Switzerland. We got about 7 people now on board for that. And then the next, thing we do is we lay out the program, we get the funding on board by the end of the year, and then we basically get started. And it's amazing what happened from that one pretty much random connection. So I always try to put it in context with the iceberg. You only see 5% of the iceberg. So if all you do is just focus on what you can see, what is clear, then you're only always going to aim at the 5%. And yes, you gotta have a strategy. You gotta be clear on where you're going. I very much believe that's important. But if we're so much focused on that and just focus on the outcome, we miss out on a lot of things that happen around that. So we miss out on the 95% that are below the surface that we don't see because we can't see there yet. If you look back at your life, I mean, think about it. What has happened in your business, in your life? I believe if you really look at it, 95% of everything that's happening or has happened and is now here, you didn't see it. You weren't able to connect the dots. Just like somebody once said, you can only connect the dots looking backwards. You can never connect the dots looking forward. I think it was Steve Jobs who said that. So I just wanted to remind you with that, also remind myself with that serendipity is such a powerful concept. And if we only focus on what we can see, we only aim at the 5%. But if we focus on that and also are open to receive through the other 95%, some really magical things can happen.